Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my weight loss journey. So those of you that follow me will know that for the last 12 to 14 months I've been on a self-discovery journey where I've been trying to understand the condition that I was diagnosed with back in August 2018, which is PCOS, Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome / Polycystic Ovarian Disease, and how it impacts my weight, and also the struggle that I've had for the majority of my life in terms of managing my weight. Before we get into it, I just want to kind of make a quick pit stop to say that everything I'm about to share in this video today is what has worked for me based on my own research. I'm not a GP, I'm not a medical doctor. It is basically down to what has worked for me for my weight loss. Now, you can take what I've said at face value, and you may need to go and do additional research to make sure that you are taking the right consumption rates for yourself and what works for you. But let's just be clear. I'm sharing my journey, my personal journey of how I've managed to lose 120 pounds and continue to lose weight consistently each and every day. Okay, so now that's out of the way, let's go on with it. So when I was born, I wasn't a particularly overweight baby. I was just a baby. I was a normal size. I think I was like 8 pounds or something. Baby pics. And obviously it wasn't apparent at that time that I was going to end up having issues with my weight. Now, as the years passed and I grew from stage to stage, you could see that I was getting chunkier and chunkier, heavier and heavier. My mum was overly concerned with the fact that I was putting weight on, and then you'd go out and people would be like, oh, she's getting quite big, isn't she? She'll grow out of it by the time she gets to teenage years. And even though people were saying those things and they just think it's okay to say, I used to hear them and I used to be like, why are people always commenting saying that, oh, I'll grow out of it when I get to teenage years? Like, what is actually wrong with me? There was a stage where I think I was around 10, my mum clearly was very worried because, you know, I just kept putting weight on. So she started restricting my food. She started calorie counting with me and teaching me how to calorie count, teaching me how to choose the right foods and the right portion sizes. She even put me on the cabbage diet. She's like, let's do it together. So we went on the cabbage diet at age 10 together. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted or ever been involved in my life. Trust me when I tell you. But she was literally actively trying to find ways to help me reduce my weight because she didn't understand, because she's calorie counting, she's doing all my food for me. Like, she stopped giving me pocket money, so if I wanted anything I had to go to her, she'd buy it for me. So she didn't understand what was going on. At one point she accused me of hiding food from somewhere and consuming it because she wasn't seeing me eating this food that was making me putting weight on, because what she was giving me couldn't have made me put weight on. And so literally there was a point where I think it was around 9, 10, 11 that she actually started, because she was a nurse, so she worked nights, coming from school, and I would have to wait for my dad to come home to have my dinner because she'd lock the kitchen door because she didn't want me to go in there and eat anything that I shouldn't be eating. It was that deep and that serious. They were locking the cupboards away so I couldn't eat because they thought that I was eating secretly. And literally it was because of the condition that I was suffering from that nobody knew about. When I got to age 12, so some of the neighbours used to go to Weight Watchers, so they said to mum one day, why don't we take her to Weight Watchers and see, you know, if she gets on well with that or not. This is the kind of extent that my weight was increasing rapidly, that the neighbours were asking if I want to go to Weight Watchers with them at age 12. Like, how embarrassing is that? Anyway, I went to Weight Watchers with them and I did what Weight Watchers said. I ate what Weight Watchers told me to eat, and I couldn't lose weight. I just kept putting weight on. There was a stage in my life, about 10 to 15 years, that I literally must have gone through every single weight loss supplement, every single weight loss pill, every single diet plan, Cambridge, Exante, Slim Fast. I've done them all, literally, and none of them worked. But then again, sorry, let me actually be honest on that point. The Cambridge Diet, Exante, the VCLD plans, so very low calorie plans, they work while you're taking their food packages. They work. They do work. But once you go back to normal food, they do what you expect them to do. It reverts everything that you've done whilst you've been eating their food packages, and you put weight on. no matter what you do. If you start eating normal food again after you've stopped taking the diet packages that these companies offer, you're bound to put weight on again. So yeah, it was a long journey of over 25 plus years where I was just kind of like, I don't know how to manage this, I don't know what's going on. And even though back in my teenage years when I started to get hirsutism on my face, we still didn't know what was going on. We still didn't get a diagnosis which said, you've got PCOS confirmed, so now let's look into how we can manage it. My weight would have been one of those things that we could have managed a long time ago. But it wasn't until back in 2018 where I was seeing my gynaecologist and we were talking about various steps that I wanted to take in my life because I wasn't getting any younger, and they were saying we need to make sure we've got all the tests going because we need to work out what's going on, which then confirmed that I had PCOS. Now, I remember the day that they told me that I had this thing, like confirmed. I also always suspected, because you read things online and you're like, well, my symptoms are like this, so maybe that's why. So I always suspected, and when they sat me down that day and told me that I had it, the first thing they said to me was, you've got this thing and the negative side to it, and I thought there's an even more negative side to having this thing, is that it fights against weight loss, which means that you've got PCOS, you are going to struggle to lose weight. I was like, struggle more than I have been for the last 30 odd years. It can't get any worse than it has been. And they said, well, that will be the reason why you've been struggling, because of the PCOS. And I remember they put me on some metformin for 6 months to try and see if that would help, and they didn't work. So then it came to the point in February 2019 where my gynaecologist has said, you know what, Leanne, you've only got one way forward. You have to lose weight. And I was like, well, I've tried everything. So guys, you've just heard me tell you, I've tried everything all of my life. It's been a cycle. Tried everything. Nothing has worked. What do you want me to do? What do I now do? And he said, well, we can't kind of proceed to help you further until you lose weight. So I left his office that day, bit sad, depressed, well, more than a bit. And then I was kind of like, Leanne, you've got to snatch your life together, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to do this for you. And yes, you've tried, but you couldn't have tried everything, because there has to be a way. And I remember I went into this stage where I was literally researching PCOS, researching PCOS diet, researching what to eat for PCOS, and I came across so many familiar stories that had the same kind of headline of what I was going through, in terms of I can eat things that are healthy, I eat things that are what you consider diet food, and I still put weight on. Help me, what do I do? And then I realised through the research and through the journals I'd been reading that PCOS brings you to insulin resistance, which then means I need to cut down on my sugar, because my body cannot process sugar the way it's supposed to. It stores it and it turns it into fat. So all these years I've been eating things like, I had an obsession with bread. So I had a really bad carb obsession in the last couple of years. So normal bread, pita bread, crumpets, muffins, focaccia. How do you say focaccia? Focaccia bread. I literally was obsessed with carbs, and carbs turn into sugar. And PCOS, insulin resistance, sugar retainer. Hello. So I decided that I was going to cut out sugar, and I went completely sugar free. And the next thing was the biggest challenge that I had, more than cutting sugar out of my diet. It was cutting out carbs, and it was cutting out the bad carbs. So don't get me wrong, it's not all carbs. Some carbs, like there's carbs in vegetables, but it's not all carbs in vegetables that is good. The refined carbs, so the breads, the rices, all of those things had to go. And it was a very difficult, it took me about, let's say it takes about 21 days to build a habit. It took me 3 months. Forget 21 days. I was craving. At a time when I first started, I felt like I'd gone cold turkey. I was getting headaches. I was like, it's not worth it, just give me some bread. It's not worth it, just give me some sugar. And all my days, literally I was I felt like I was dying each and every day for those 3 months. I was having sweats, I was having temperature fluctuations, because I'd literally taken these 2 crutches out of my life in every kind of sense that they were there and apparent. Once I got rid of the sugar, once I got rid of the carbs, I started to lose weight. I think within 6 months I'd lost more than 50 pounds, and that's when I knew I'd finally found my corner where this was going to work for me. After all these years, forget years, these decades that I'd literally been trying everything. I spent so much money on these weight loss paraphernalia. Like, literally, I spent thousands of pounds over decades trying to lose weight. Nothing worked. So when I actually managed to tap into this whole cutting out sugars and refined carbs, that actually worked for me. Like, I didn't exercise for a year. I didn't do any gym for a year. I was fed up. I was tired. I was at a place where I was like, if this doesn't work for me, I'm done. I didn't know what I was supposed to do next. I cut out my sugars. I cut out all the refined carbs. And then I also had to increase my clear fluid intake. So notice that I said clear fluid, because we always say water because that's a clear fluid. But actually you can also have herbal teas. So my peppermint tea contributes to my clear fluid. I have 2 litres of peppermint tea a day anyway. And then on top of that, I drink water. I try to stay within about the 3 to 4 litres a day mark consistently. And that's the thing that we have to really kind of grab hold of. It's consistency. Nothing happens overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. But if you continue to make these consistent small steps like building blocks and keep building every day, you're building, you're building, you're building, you will eventually get to your goal. But if we just say, I'm going to try it and tomorrow, but it's not working, well, you just tried yesterday. You just started yesterday. It's not going to work so quickly. You have to be consistent. You've got to put the effort in consistently. And that's the thing that I had to master, the consistency. So how have I lost 120 pounds in a year? It's been hard. It's included some food changes. I've had to cut out some major competitors out of my diet. Like I've mentioned, the sugar, the carbs. I've had to dig deep and make some choices on the types of food that I eat. I've had to make sure that I've increased my clear fluid intake. I've had to make sure that I've increased my daily protein, my daily lean protein intake. It's been hard. I've started doing exercise. So from lockdown, I've been walking every day. I've bought a vibration machine. I know that sounds a bit dirty, but this is what I'm talking about. I bought a vibration machine that I use every day. I still do my YouTube workouts as well. I do these workouts. They're very, very good, by the way. The Body Project, check them out. And I'm literally combining everything together. I didn't do it in the first instance. I literally was just focusing on what types of food to eat and seeing if it worked first. But now I know it works. This is my new lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. My lifestyle is now low carb or no carb, no sugar, low fat or no fat. That's my new lifestyle. Making sure that I've got those clear fluids infiltrating my body, making sure that I've got my protein balancing me out. And if I do all of those things combined together, I've got guaranteed weight loss week after week after week. It could be 2 pounds, it could be 5 pounds. Depending on how active I am nowadays, it kind of also contributes to how much I lose. I've lost 10 pounds in a week before. In June I said that I wanted to lose 30 pounds by the end of August. I didn't know how I was going to do it because I had to get my mindset back as to how I've been kind of working over the last year to lose the first 110 pounds. And lo and behold, I got my mindset back. It's been hard, but I've got it back. And I managed to lose 10 pounds in the very first week that I said that I wanted to lose 30. So here I am right now. I've got 20 more pounds to lose. We're nearly in August and I'm going to be running that race to get to that 30 pound target by the 31st of August. And I will be doing a video on that day just to let you know that I've lost it, but hopefully probably even lost more. Because as I said to you, I've lost 120 pounds, but the job isn't over. I've still got a long way to go. You may not be able to cut out all of your sugars today, or tomorrow, or next week. But if you make small incremental changes, all you have to do is try it. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But if you just try it and it works for you, you know you're onto a winner. So then you know that you can lose weight and keep it off. You can make small incremental changes. Take some sugar out here, stop eating this which has got sugar in it. You refine carbs, cut bread down. If you have bread 4 times a day, cut it down to 3 times, to 2 times, to 1 time, to the point where you don't have to have any at all. It literally is incremental changes, little building blocks which are stepping stones to the bigger goal. That's how I kind of manage my lifestyle now. I don't call it a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's the way that I've got to live forever if I want to continue to lose weight and if I want to continue to maintain the weight loss that I've already made. I have to live like this. It's not a fad. It's not a 10-minute or 1-year process where I lose all the weight and I go back to normal. I can't go back to normal. I've got PCOS. So even though the PCOS I've got now is going to be the same PCOS I've got down the line, so if I eat sugar and eat carbs and things like that, then I'm going to start putting weight on again. So it's the case of I just have to live like this now forever. And how much weight am I going to lose? I don't know how much weight I'm going to lose. I'll know when I get there because my fertility issues will be resolved. And even if my fertility issues resolve tomorrow, I'm still not happy. I still want to lose more weight. So I'll know when I get there. You might have all been saying, well, how much did you weigh and how much do you weigh now? And I'm not at the place right now where I'm comfortable to say that I can tell you how much I weighed and how much I'm at now, but I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll be able to say this is how much I weighed and this is how much I weigh now. It's a confidence thing. It's a step-by-step process, and I'm still on that process, and I know I'll get there, and I'll share with you, and I'll be shouting it from the rooftops that I've lost I don't know how many 100 pounds, and this is where I started, and I hope you'll be inspired by it. But I still hope you're inspired by my story now, the fact that I've lost 120 pounds and I'm still going, and I have got no intention of giving up anytime soon. Okay, so guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you've learned something from me sharing my weight loss journey, and I hope that you continue to learn with me as we grow together. If you've got any comments, drop them in the comment section. Any questions, any advice that you need, I'll be more than happy to help you, and I'll definitely respond to your comments down there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom of this video and click on that red subscribe button, and then click on the bell to make sure that you're notified every time that I drop new content on the channel. So guys, take care, and I will speak to you all again very soon.